And I'll talk a little bit after I've shown it to you.
Begin. End. Win. Lose. Hold on. Move on. Think global. Think local. Dream. Wake up. Agree. Disagree. Think big. Think small. Change. Never change. Love. Hate. Forgive. Never forget. Look back. Look ahead. We all face many choices and many issues. We all have our own views. But in Europe, every opinion gets a fair chance. The decisions of the European Parliament are driven by everything that matters to you. You have the power to decide. The European Parliament. Act. React. Impact.
Okay. I think that video caused a degree of surprise when we launched it. Well aware of that. As time goes by, we're going to combine that with the second logo, which talks about the date of the election. That particular one is the first date on which elections take place. But there will be versions of that for every country, every location where the date is different, and indeed there will be versions with the range of dates. And in fact, that second part of the logo will also be available for use independently. That's quite important for third parties, people who don't want to use the Parliament logo, but maybe want to put it as a sort of a banner in a newspaper or something. That's why we produced that. That's something happened last time. It's available in all languages. So there you have the French and the German versions. Believe you me, Act, React, Impact is not an easy thing to translate. I don't want to go through that again. And just in honour of our hosts, we have a Bulgarian version. It's more exotic to people like me. Okay, so what about the overall campaign? It's going to be in 4 phases. We have a kick-off phase, which is actually basically being completed now. We started in September. We launched the campaign. We produced an amount of material, I'll show you in a minute, and that was about the core message of the campaign. This is a parliament which gives you more power. The themes phase, we're in that right now, and the themes phase I'll explain later, but that is talking about what the parliament actually does and why it's different for you this time, and what kind of power the parliament gives you. Then we have the go to vote, we call it that. It's the classic activation phase. That's the phase, basically, in the early part of next year, which leads up to the elections. It's about getting people to actually go and vote. And then the outcome. We've never done this formally before, but we will do a phase that comes after the elections. There are a number of landmarks along the way. We actually launched on the day of the State of the Union address by President Barroso in the Parliament. Great seniority for us, because there you have the President of the Commission, this figure who will be elected in Parliament, accountable to Parliament, talking about the big issues. And in fact, the launch and the State of the Union were generally reported together. A lot of newspapers, a lot of media talked about the fact this was the last State of the Union by Barroso before the next election. Just something I wanted to mention, we have a youth event lined up which comes shortly before the elections. There are various events before the elections. One of them is a rather large youth event which will take place in Strasbourg, and I will describe it later. Election night itself is always a big thing for us. And then we're talking about doing something rather special and rather new this time round when the Commission is finally in place, having an inauguration. So, what are the tools that we're using to do this week? We have quite a wide media mix, kind of things you'd expect. TV, radio spots, election website we will create. We have all sorts of online products, social media platforms, alternative marketing, print material. We'll be buying media space and so on. We have events and public relations, media partnerships, press outreach, and ongoing communications. The things that we do all the time anyway, we're going to more and more make those about the elections. The Parliament has a very strong online presence. It has just about to reach 1 million fans on its Facebook page. It's by far and away the largest presence on social media of any parliament in the world. And that is a good base for us to launch a lot of actions from there. It's not only that though, we have, for example, the EP News Hub you see on the left there. That one is an automatic feed of everything that MEPs are saying and doing on social media platforms. Their press releases, their tweets, they're in real time. It's live, it's in all the languages. You can filter it for your country, for your members, for the language, whatever you like. It's a great tool. You might be interested in that. We will have, as from the 1st of December, a special elections website. That's where we'll put everything which has to do with the elections. It will be news, but it will also be concrete information. It will be information about the member states, how you vote in the member states, what the rules are in the different member states, obviously the date. There'll be a lot of other information about the member state to do maybe even things like the unemployment rate and the GDP growth and so on. Lots of information related to the elections. That's all going to be there on the 1st of December. I mentioned the EP News Hub. We have the central Facebook page. We also have Twitter accounts in every language. So if you want to get a Twitter feed of what's going on in the European Parliament, we have those too. We also have, through our network of information offices, those same tools on a local basis. So you've got a Facebook page basically in every country. So if you don't know it, like Facebook page of the Office of the European Parliament in your country. You'll get a lot of news that comes that way. That will be obviously in your own language. There are also Twitter feeds run by our offices. So there's a big online presence. Okay? There's a web team in Brussels and there are teams in all these offices. So those are the people you can talk to if you want to know what's going on online. We also have audiovisual facilities. So we have great facilities for broadcasters. We have places where people can, studios where they can make radio programs, TV programs, and we have a great network with broadcasters across Europe. So Eurovision, Circon, people like that. So if you have local TV stations that are operating where you are, they probably already have a partnership with the European Parliament. Press relations and facilities, we have a lot of press officers both in Brussels and around the different countries dealing with media. There are people, so if you have contacts with the media, local media, national media, there is someone in your office, in your capital, who deals with that, with media relations. This is the local presence I was talking about. So in every capital there is a European Parliament information office. You probably know that. And those people are available to you in this campaign. It's a campaign that we are decentralising to a large degree. We're saying to people, talk about what you want to talk about where you are. We also organise a lot of events. So I've mentioned the youth events coming up. There are open days. There are the general PR that Parliament does. There's actually a cinema prize called the Lutz Prize. There's a human rights prize called the Sakharov Prize. These things are all opportunities to talk about the elections. And we have a lot of partners and people that we work with, EU institutions, starting with the EU institutions, and of course, last but very much not least, the Europe Direct Information Centre. Okay, and between, we have, say, broadcast partners, we have NGOs, we have recipients of our grants and so on, carrying out information action on their behalf, and we have European political parties. Again, a new player in this game. If you want anything that comes from this campaign, if you want the logo in your language, if you want a leaflet, if you want a film, if you want anything that we have produced in this election campaign, you can get it here. This is our download centre. It's on the website, it's europarl.eu/download centre. Okay? All the material is there. You can have it, you can take it, you can use it. We take in this very open attitude to our material this time. So let's go for it. Okay, I just want to show you something else now. The other thing that's important is not just what we're doing, but what other people are doing. This is really important. We had a conference last week in which someone from the Obama campaign was there, and he said, A lot of what they did was simply recycle things that other people were doing. They were trying to get the enthusiasm of others. So let me give you a couple of examples. VoteWatch is an organisation which monitors the activities of the European Parliament and MEPs, analyses their behaviour. We can't do that. As an institution, we can't sort of assess how members act. These people can. And what they've done with the information they have gathered is they've created a vote matching tool. So you can go on this thing, you can answer some questions, and you can find out basically which party you're closest to, which political group you're closest to, and which members of Parliament have most often voted as you would have voted. It's quite fun. It's very easy. Just go and try it. Also, I want to show you a little video here again. I'll talk about it afterwards.